Welcome back to Insight Academy, where we explore the mind and the mysteries of human behavior. Today, we're going to take a look at something that affects each of us every day: cognitive biases. These are the ways our brain can trick us into thinking we're making rational decisions when, in fact, we're not. From snap judgments to faulty memory, cognitive biases shape how we see the world. Let's dive into how they work. What are cognitive biases? Cognitive biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment. They can cause us to make irrational decisions, and they often happen without us even realizing it. Our brains, in an effort to save time and energy, rely on shortcuts known as heuristics to make quick decisions. While this helps us in everyday situations, it can also lead us to incorrect conclusions. Common cognitive biases. Let's explore a few of the most common cognitive biases that shape our thinking. Confirmation bias. This is when we seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs while ignoring information that contradicts them. For example, if you believe a certain brand is the best, you'll focus on reviews that support your view and dismiss negative ones. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias happens when we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we encounter, which then influences all subsequent decisions. For instance, if you're shopping for a laptop and the first one you see is priced at $2,000, you might consider a $1,500 laptop a great deal, even if it's still overpriced compared to other options. Availability heuristic. This is when we judge the likelihood of an event based on how easily examples come to mind. For example, after seeing news stories about airplane crashes, we might overestimate the risks of flying, even though flying is statistically safer than driving. Hindsight bias. Also known as the knew it all along effect. Hindsight bias makes us believe we could have predicted an outcome after it already happens. For instance, after a sports team wins or loses, we might convince ourselves that the outcome was obvious, even though it wasn't. The Dunning-Kruger effect. This bias occurs when people with low ability or knowledge in a particular area overestimate their competence. This can be seen when someone with limited knowledge on a subject is overly confident about their understanding. Why do we have these biases? Cognitive biases are a result of our brain trying to save time. Our brains are constantly processing information, and heuristics help us make decisions quickly without needing to analyze every piece of data. While this is efficient, it can lead to errors in judgment. These biases were likely helpful in the past for survival, helping our ancestors make quick decisions, but in today's world, they can lead to misjudgments. How to overcome cognitive biases. While it's nearly impossible to avoid cognitive biases entirely, we can become more aware of them and make an effort to counteract them. Seek out diverse perspectives to challenge your existing beliefs. Take your time when making decisions instead of relying on first impressions or snap judgments. Question your assumptions and be open to changing your mind when presented with new evidence. Practice mindfulness to become more aware of your thought patterns and how they influence your decisions. Cognitive biases are a part of human nature, but that doesn't mean we can't work to minimize their impact. By becoming more aware of how our brains can trick us, we can make more informed decisions and avoid common pitfalls. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the fascinating world of psychology. Don't forget to subscribe to Insight Academy, where we continue to unravel the mysteries of the mind.